Everyone, welcome to this video series SQL Data Analysis Project. Let's check today's agenda. We will be working on these 8 questions. For this we'll be using the Adventure DW 2019 database. I'll give the link in the description box how to install the Adventure DW along with the SQL server. Now let's get started with today's question. The first question would be to find the top 5 products based on their total sales along with the rank column. The tables which we will use is the sales order detail, column will be line total. From production schema, we'll use a product table and the column will be name. The relationship between them is based on product IDs. I'll give the link in the description box for a site where we can check the data model for AdventureWorks database. There are multiple approaches we can use. So first, here I'm using two approaches. In this approach, I'm using the top command. Using top, I'm using the top 5, then the name which is a product name, sum of line total as total sales. To get the rank, I'm using the rank function which is a Windows function. I'm using the over keyword and besides it, I'm using the order by which is must for the over clause. In the order by, I'm using the sum of line total in descending order. Now, I'm putting an alias for this calculation as rank. This is selected from the sales or the detail table joined with the production product table on the product IDs as we discussed earlier. Group by name because we have an aggregate column here. And finally, order by the sum of line total in descending order because the top command will be able to fetch only the top after we have ordered it properly. So this is how our output would look like. We have mountain 200, black 38. This is total sales and this is the rank 1. The next approach which we can use is CTE. Let me show that. We'll have the exact output as we had in previous. So for CTE, first we'll have to create one CTE and then select from it. We'll use the with keyword, CTE name which is sales rank and the as keyword. Inside this we'll run the code which is to select the name, the sum of line total as total sales, same the rank column we will be using and same join and group by. We have not used order by because order by would not be possible in CTEs. Next, we'll select star from the sales rank, which is our CT or the temporary table which we have created, where the rank is less than equal to 5. So using this, we'll get the same output. Now, this is the output which I showed you. Moving to the second question, we need to find the total sales for each month of the year. Here we'll be using the sales order header table, and for sales, we'll be using the subtotal. For month and all, we'll be using the order date table, order date column from this table. Let me explain the solution to you. So the output we will be getting year, month ID, month name and total sales. To get the year, we'll use the year function with the order date column and give it an alias as year. To get the month IDs, we'll use the month function. To get the month names in three characters, we'll use a format. We'll pass in the order and triple M is the format for having the 3 characters in month name. Again, we'll have the total sales, which is the sum of subtotal from our sales order header table. Since there is an aggregate, we'll have to use the other rest of columns in the group by which I have used, and finally order by to get the months in the ascending order. I hope this is clear. This is the output which we saw now. Moving to the third question, we need to find the top 2 products with the highest sales revenue each year. Here we'll use our sales order detail table. Product table, we'll use a name column which is the product name. From sales order header, we'll use the subtotal column and the order date. Since there is no direct relationship between these two, we will have to use 2 joins. First would be sales order detail and the product based on product IDs. Next would be sales order detail and the sales order header based on a sales order ID. This is our solution. So for each year, we'll get two products and based on their maximum sales. For this again, I'm using a CTE called as product rank. In that, I'm selecting the year part of the order date, which is this, the sum of subtotal as total sales, which is this. Then I'm using the rank function to rank them internally based on the sales. Since this we have to do it for each year, we'll use the partition keyword, partition by the year of order date. Next, we'll order by the sum of subtotal in descending order as rank. As seen in the data model, we'll have to join the sales order header and the sales order detail on the sales order ID, and further we have to join it the product based on the product ID. Since there is again an aggregate function used, we'll have to use the group by. So once our CT, which is this, is completed, we'll select star. So we'll select from that product rank. We'll select the year, we'll select the name and the total sales where the rank is less than equal to 2. For each year, we'll get the two categories. Moving on to our next question. We need to find the maximum, minimum and average difference between any order and its previous order date for all the products in 2014. The data model will be same or the tables which are used will be same. This is how we are going to get the name. We'll get the minimum, maximum and average difference. First of all, we'll again create a CTE here, which is the product last order. We'll use the select, we'll use the year function to get the year part, order date, name, and here we'll use another Windows function which is lag. We'll pass in the order date to get the previous order date. We'll partition it by the product name, order by the order date as last order. The join will be same as the previous one, and since it's for 2014, we will use this additional thing in the join, or we can even use it in a where clause to get it for 2014. Once our CT is done, we have the order date here, we have the last order here. So we'll select the product name, and then to get the difference, we'll use the date diff function where we'll need the difference in the number of days. So we'll pass in day and the two parameters, which is the last order and the order date. We'll use the aggregate function minimum, maximum and average to get the min, max and average difference. Again from product last order, which is our CTE. The one thing to note that some products will be ordered only once. So for them, the previous order will be null. So to prevent that, I've just used last order is not null. We'll use the group by and order by 2 in the list. Order by 2 means the second column which is in the select. Moving on to fifth question. We need to count each type of weight type whose weight bracket is 500, 500, 2000 and greater than 1000. We'll use the production product table. This is how we are going to get it. The weight type between less than 500, between 500 to 1000 and greater than 1000. And the count of each weight type. For this, I have used a CTE weight type. I'll select the weight, and to get these weight types, I have used the case statements. The case, when the weight is less than 500, then I'm assigning it string less than 500. Between 500 to 1000 is this, and finally else greater than 1000. To create this column, we'll use the end and we'll give a name to it as weight type. So this is from our product table, and where the weight is not null, because if it's null, it doesn't make any sense. So our CT is created. Next, we select from the CTE, then we'll count the weight type as the count of weight type from our CTE and group it by the weight type. I hope this was clear. Moving onto the sixth question. From the sales order header table, we'll have to check if the ship date is on a second Sunday, then we need to create a new ship date which will be on Monday. So here if I show you 2011 12th June. The 12th June it's second Sunday, so the new ship date has moved to 13. One more example, if we see this is 10th of July. The 10th of July is also a second Sunday and it has moved to 11. Okay, so this is how we'll validate it. Now going to the code, I have used a CTE and named it as new ship date CTE. To create a CTE, I have selected the ship date. So here two things are there. First, it has to be Sunday. For that, I have used a date part function. I have passed the weekday and then the ship date to it and compare it with 1. So this date part, and if we are passing weekday, this will result in 1 to 7 values. So if it is 1, it will be a Sunday. And again, I'm using date part, and instead of weekday, I'm passing the day to it along with the ship date. So this will have 1 to 30. So I'm checking whether, since the second week should fall between 8 to 14, I'm checking whether the day is coming between 8 to 14. So if these both conditions are true, then using a case statement, I'm using the date add function to add one day to the ship date. Else, we'll keep the ship date as same and we'll end it as new ship date column. This is from sales order header table. This is our CTE which is done. Now we'll select star from the CTE where the ship date is not equal to the new ship date to just check our values. Moving to the seventh question, we need to find the average list price for each class and display the class as columns. The table will be product. For this, we'll have to use pivot. Okay, these are 4 classes which we have in a database H, L, and M. So first part, we'll create a source table which is we'll select the class list price from the product as okay. This is the first thing which we'll do. Then this entire thing we'll select star from this as a source table. We'll use a pivot command, and this is how we'll pivot it. In the pivot, we are getting the average list price for keyword class in H, L, and M as pivot table. I hope this was clear. Last question is extract the color and size from product for mountain ranges products. So let me show this. This is how the name looks. We need to extract size, which is 38, and the color black. But one thing to note is here there are this some of the columns, so some of the values are having W also. So this is not which we can use hard code and find it. Okay, the color might differ and all. So we'll have to present a solution which is dynamic. To get the size, it would be using the right function. We'll pass in the name and we'll get the last 2 digits. Okay, so this is how it works as size. To get the color, the first thing we will have to do is let me show this to you. The first thing which we are doing is we are using substring function which takes in the string which we are passing name, then the start index, okay, and how much length we will have to take. So we need from here, which is after the space, okay, first space till the length, which is the entire length we are taking the string. So char index, and here we are passing a space along the string, so it will give us the index position, which is I think 13 here for the first space. So starting from 13, the length of the name, so the length of the name is the total string's length. So till last, this will give us this output black, comma 38. Once we get this one, now we will again use another substring function, which is this one. For this, now the starting, then instead of passing the name, we'll pass in the this string which we have prepared. Okay, so I'm passing this string. This is a string. Now the starting position would be 1 because we need from B Miss Black and all. To get the length of the string, right, we'll have to use again two char index function. For first char index function, I'm taking the index of the first comma, okay, and then I'm taking the index of the first space and I'm just doing a minus of these two. This is going to give me the length, which will be 5. So using this technique, I am able to get the color part of it. I hope this video was useful, and if you find this useful, please subscribe to the channel, and thank you so much for watching.